Well, welcome back to the Timeline Ranch. It's a beautiful morning, pretty calm. There's a mild breeze, but I think it'll be a good day to get back on working on the fence. And it's been about 4.5 years since I worked on the fence because I was doing a bunch of other things. I'll give you a little look around real quick and then we'll go check out the section of fence I'll be putting the T-post in. The sun has just come over the mountains over there. This is the east facing fence, as you can tell by the sunrise there. I'm going to be concentrating on that side. Let's go over there. Here we are back at the southeast corner of the back 40 acres, or the south 40 acres. That's the corner marker there. You see that little piece of number 4 rebar. Like I said, I started about 4.5 years ago putting this in, but I ended up getting back on the pond, which is, top priority here, but means I don't have the excavator back yet from the repair shop due to the hydraulic issue it had. I thought it would be a good opportunity to get back on this for a little bit. So what I did, every 100 feet, I put a T-post, but I need to go back and fill in the T-post between that. I'd also like to work a little bit on this side here, which this is going to be more of a challenge. You can see there's a pretty good elevation change right there. That's all rock. There's a little bit of soil between the rocks. Sometimes you get lucky and the posts fall between there, but most of the time it's on a rock. That's just how it works out. So this is going west. I've got a T-post. You can't really see it. There's a little bit of brush blocking it up there. But there's no marker between here, so I'm gonna have to eyeball the post between these two and then set up a string line on it to get it nice and straight. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it's in my nature to try to get it as perfect as I can. Since it's been multiple years since I worked on this fence, I figured I'd give you a quick walk down it and show you what's already been done. It'll be a wildlife friendly fence. If you don't know what that term is, you can look it up, but basically the bottom wire and the top wire will be smooth, no barbs on it. And that just keeps, on the bottom, a lot of times the baby deer or the fawn can't jump the fence, so they go under the fence. And if it has barbs on it, sometimes they'll get hung up on it and they'll end up dying there, and I don't want to be the guy that killed the baby deer for no reason. The 3 rungs of barbed wire in the middle will have barbs. There's also a certain height that you need to keep the bottom rung off the ground and the upper rung of the wire down so that the larger deer can clear easy without getting hung up on it. One of the main things that gets the deer caught in fence lines is woven fence, and the upper piece usually has a piece of barbed wire, and a lot of times it's pretty loose. The spacing between the wire and the mesh makes a big difference too. They'll jump over it and their leg will get under the woven fence, and the back part of the leg will be on the other side of the barbed wire, and they'll just do a face plant on the other side of the fence and suffer there until they dehydrate or another animal comes along that eats deer. We're gonna walk down here where it's nice and flat and no dog cholla cactus to step on. Yeah, I'd like to fence a little section off to the edge here where it drops off into the pond so that I can plant a variety of things to keep the mule deer from chewing on everything in there, along with the Barbary sheep. That's another reason I'd like to finish this fence. Hopefully the next monsoon season we actually get some rain. Well, this fence line is 1,320 feet, which is a typical length of a 40-acre plot. That's also what your lengths of barbed wire come in for a reason, because it's a common length in fencing. I laid out most of the T-posts where they go, and they've been laying there ever since. Put them there. As you can see, not much changes out here. It looks like I could have laid that T-post down today. All the dog cholla. Cactus. You barely bump it and it'll break loose from the mother plant and hang on until you find it and flick it off, and then it'll grow there. It does the same thing with animals. There's a bunch of sea cell fossils all in this stuff, all this rock here. You see there's a shell right there. Almost every rock has a little piece of something in it. There's another piece. There's another piece. You can see where we came from over there. Yeah, it's a pretty tough area to put a fence in, but that's where it goes. I'd really like to get just the back 40 acres fence for now, and then later I may do a little bit of fencing on the other 2 40-acre sections, just a little at a time so you don't get overwhelmed with it. I like the mornings out here. You can see all the shadows on the different elevation changes. And I've got some of my little cross braces already in. I just need to bolt them. I need to bolt this here. Bolt this one here. This was a tough section of fence right here, I'll tell you. I think I wore holes in my boot soles that I had on at the time, going up and down, trying to get them lined up. They're lined up pretty good. No, it may not look like it. This is on about a 45-degree slant here. Just got stabbed by a yucca. Got these bolted here. This thing's not going anywhere. This is in a little wash too. Right through here. It's a wash. It's just the water from that upper ridge to this ridge here. All that comes this way. You can see the sotals look nice and happy down in here. Get a little moisture. Here's a corner. This will be the northeast corner. Piece of rebar down in here. See that cap right there? And then I turned and went west just a little bit to give the fence a little bit more reinforcement. This is going to be a tough section right here too. This is quite steep right there, that section. I put one T-post over there to line it up. If you look real close up there, there's a grade stake or lab stake. That's marking one of the pins that was put in by the surveyors. Let's see if I can zoom into it. Anyway, that's the pin that's marked there. There wasn't anything between here and there. It was pretty tough to eyeball, but I got that post pretty much right on the money. That's over there, you see. So, if you caught the video a long time ago, I was talking about I was in talks with purchasing this other 40 acres that's between my south 40 acres and my north 40 acres, but those talks fell through for now, so I'm going to end up fencing this off so I can have the back 40 fenced completely. Now I bolted one corner here. Need to bolt this here. The drill bits I had weren't really right for drilling through this steel. You know, this is a type of cast. It's pretty tough. It'll wear regular drill bits right out. I still need to put a little piece of T-post right here to link these two corners together, so when the wire's pulling against it, it'll stay stout. Let's get going. Here we are looking down the fence line. I've got some rope up. The wind's blowing it a little bit. The wind's picking up some, but it gets me close. I can set it just a little bit and then get back and look down it and see where I need to adjust it to. You can see it's blowing that one out about 1.5 inches from where I set that post, but the post is in line where it should be, so that's what matters. I'll show you what I use to get these posts in. I got another one goes right here where you see that little X. This T-post driver is what I attempt to use first, but most of the time it doesn't work. I think I've had maybe 4 T-posts out of all the T-posts I've put in out here at the ranch. Went in by that by itself. A lot of times I can get it started with that, and then I use this 10-pound sledgehammer to beat in the rest of the way. If I hit solid rock, what I use, I've got a 1.5 inch coring bit here and an SDS rotary hammer to power it. I've got a little 3,000 watt inverter and my LTO battery that I made. I can usually drill about 13 fence post holes with one charge on the battery, so it works pretty good. A lot better than toting a generator over here. Battery doesn't weigh that much. Let's get back to work. Looks like we got a solid rock there. Have to drill it. That's one. You see what takes so long to put a fence up out here. I'm making a little headway. Wind's picked up a little bit, making it a little harder to line the post up. I think it's looking good though. So every 200 feet down the fence line, or every change of pitch as far as elevation goes, it gets angle braces off of the T-post. I've got to do it right here. So I've got 2 posts laid here for that. And I do them about on a 45-degree slant, because this right here is, you know, pretty good to sit. And then down there, when it starts to level out, I'll put another brace same way. I'll show you one down this way that I've already done. So this one's about 200 feet from the last angle brace down there. I just take the cutoff wheel with the angle grinder, cut off this little ear right here, and then drill through it and put a bolt into the other T-post. That's how I do those. Well, I think I'm gonna go take a water break and get some more T-post, get back at it. Well, I think I'm gonna call it a day at this point. This used to be this is the North Creek, I call it, comes into the pond. It used to go out this direction, but I cut this down about 2.5 feet deeper right here, so now it goes into the pond. Water will still overflow out of here if it gets, too much water real fast. Most of it's going to go out that leaky weir though that I have down there at the creek that comes in on the west side. So I could have filled this in and made it a lot easier to do the fencing, but I think I need to leave it there just in case we have a real hard rain event, which will happen eventually. You just have to wait for it. Similar to what I did here with these braces on both sides of the post, I'll do the same thing down here. And then I'll put another post right here with the same braces. It'll be good and strong. Yeah, I made some good headway today. Let's go walk, see how much we got done today. Once I get these posts in here in this little creek wash, I'll be on the other side of the pond, about another 200 feet to the corner there, and that's all fairly flat ground. Should be pretty easy to do. So I called the Kubota dealership that's working on the excavator, and they're still having problems figuring out what's wrong with it. Even though I've got $10,000 worth of repairs already in on it. Kind of gives you the feeling that they're trying to milk you for some more money, but there's not much else you can do with it. Pretty disappointing not to get to dig on this pond when it's dry though. Yeah, I'm pretty happy to see this fencing go in. Of course, I once again would have been much happier to be digging on the pond instead of doing this. And I got them lined up pretty good. I was going to wait until I got all these cross braces in, come back and grind them and drill them and put the bolts in. That's something I can do on a real windy day. Judging by the way they're talking at that Kubota dealership, sounds like I'm going to have plenty of time to finish this fence out. That's about where we started, right in here. I made it a good distance today. I'd say it's about, I don't know, 800 feet. Of course, some of the, the post for every 100 feet marking, I just put the post between them basically. We're already there from the last time I was working on it. Well, I guess that's it for today. I'll see you on the next one.